sweltering heats of the Mojave Desert, to the unpredictable habitat of Tanzania's Serengeti, to the murky depths of the Mariana Trench, to the exhilarating heights of Mount Kilimanjaro, you have the pleasure of listening to From Chicago to Dummast, the Dummast Podcast.
Yo, what is up, everybody? You've made it. New episode of the Dummast Podcast. It's your boy Icekold, and this is my show. WrestleMania weekend is fast approaching. It's next weekend. So you got SmackDown, you got first night of WrestleMania, you got second night of WrestleMania, you got Hall of Fame, you got an NXT show, and all the other wrestling organizations that follow WWE to the City of Angels, Los Angeles, for WrestleMania this year. I'm excited about it. I actually have an interview with Rotten Hatred where we kind of break down and preview the whole WrestleMania 2-night card, and we go over some surprises and maybe even a little little expectations or predictions. But we'll get into that later. But what I want to first get into is something that I've been thinking about for a day now. Looks like there was another mass shooting at a school. Another mass shooting at a school. This time it was in Nashville, Tennessee, I think. It's just happening too much, and it's just, I don't know, man. It's even dropping my kids off this morning. I was just like, goodness, like something has to be done. Something has to be done. It's way beyond the time that Congress or just us as a people start embracing some common sense gun legislation. I mean, it's gotten to be too much. This is happening way too much, and this doesn't happen anywhere else. This only happens in this country. At the clip it does. I mean, I don't know what the problem is. Is it too many guns on the street? Is it the mental health of Americans? What is going on? Why is it this country has a problem with school shootings or mass shootings in general, and you really don't see it anywhere else but here? I mean, you do get some reports every now and then, but like predominantly here in this country, we have a huge problem, and something needs to be done. And we're beyond the point where you can say my rights should trump life. In life of a child, and that's what's happening, and that's what this breaks down to. Some people think their Second Amendment rights, should come before children as little as 9 years old, even younger than that. Some of these mass casualties, these kids are in kindergarten, first grade, second grade. This is a problem. This is something that people need to stop thinking about me and my rights first, and let's get to the root problem. And I'm not saying I know what that root problem is. That root problem could be, mental health checks before you can get a gun. I'm a gun owner. I am a gun owner. I own pistol and I own a rifle. If that means I have to give up my rifle, so be it. Because last thing I want to happen is someone come up in my school, in my kid's school, with one. This is a problem, and I was about to say it's beginning to be. It's way beyond. This has been going on for years, and it's beyond the point where you can say, you know what, but my right gives me, you shouldn't trample on my right to have this, my right to have that. These people are using rifles to go in schools and kill kids. I don't know if my right to have a gun is that important. No, well, my right to have a rifle to have is it that important? I don't think so. But I'm not even saying that's the problem. I'm saying we need to find out. We need to put our heads together and find out what the problem really is. And each side blaming each other, saying, whatever they're saying. Each side blaming each other is not going to fix the problem. What's going to fix the problem is each side coming together and saying, let's do what we can. And they did some small measures last year in a way of trying to curb it, but that's not enough. It doesn't stop there because it's still happening. It's still happening. Right after they did that, there was a mass shooting. But, I don't know. I mean, is it a mental problem? I'm fairly sure that's some of the issue there. I mean, I wouldn't think a person who is fine with running up in a school with guns and rifles and ammunition, killing kids, is a sane person. I don't. I don't. There's something there. There's definitely clearly some type of mental problem there. What does it stem from? I don't know. Let's find out. That's all I'm saying. All I'm saying is we should be at the point where we're trying to find out what's going on. And then once we find out what's going on, let's take care of it. But in the meantime, let's get some of these guns off the street. In the meantime, let's put a halt to selling so many guns. In the meantime, let's make sure the people we're selling the guns to are have a mental capacity to at least lock it up, or have the mental capacity not to run out and shoot up a school. That's all I'm saying. Something has to be done. We're going through this too much, and I personally believe that this won't stop until somebody run up, and I just hate to say it, but somebody run up on Capitol Hill with an assault style weapon, or somebody run up in one of their children's schools. And I don't ever want to see that happen. I don't want to see nothing like this ever happen. But it seems as though people don't take certain things serious until it affects them personally. And I believe a lot of people in Congress have the attitude where, my kids go to the best school, so this could never happen at my kid's school. And that's not the case. Here's the thing. They're not running up in this is not happening in predominantly urban areas. This is happening in rural areas. This is happening in suburban areas. But it's not happening in inner city Chicago, inner city New York. There's some cases where, you may find this type of behavior, this type of activity, or this type of situation in a big city. But for the most part, this is happening in middle America. This is happening more, outside of city limit area. But something got to be done. I heard a stat the other day where it said that the leading cause of death among children is getting shot and killed. That's crazy to me. That is crazy to me. That one I can't even wrap my head around that stat. The leading cause of death amongst children is getting shot. That's a tough pill to swallow. That's borderline too much. Something got to be done. I don't have the answers, but I'm willing to talk about it. I mean, let's figure it out. Let's figure it out. And the people we're paying to figure it out, they just, just like this, arms folded. And that right there is the problem. Nobody's willing to come off their pedestal. Nobody's willing to, at least hear the other side out on what could be done. One side is saying, hey, this is our protected right. The other side is saying, hey, let's just get rid of all guns, lock, stock, and barrel. There has to be some type of compromise in order to fix this. I don't know. It's just not a good feeling when it's weird because last year when the Uvalde thing happened, it was like the last week of school for my kids. And actually just one of my boys, the other one wasn't in school yet. So it was my 8-year-old, he was 7 at the time, his last week of school, and I promise you, like a lot of parents are upset or they get a little stressed when the kids are out of school for the summer. I'm happy. I mean, first and foremost, like when my kids don't gotta go to school, I'm happy. For one, I ain't gotta wake up in the morning and get them ready. For two, I just like having my kids around. You know what I'm saying? I enjoy having them out of school. Tell you what you want. Maybe it's weird. You don't hear that a lot, but I just enjoy. I don't look at school for my kids as just a way to get away from my kids. But just to go back to what I was saying, I was more so glad that they were getting out of school because I didn't have to think about this. I didn't have to send them to a place where I didn't have to think that somebody can get up in there with a gun. That Uvalde thing happened, and that was just sad in itself. Every time this stuff happens, it's sad. It's unfathomable, like how and why this is being allowed to happen. And at this point, you do have to say this is being allowed to happen. I mean, we as people, we as a society, we as congressmen, we as just as human beings can do something about this. We can do something about this, but we don't. We're just letting it happen. And it's gonna happen again. And it's gonna be worse. Because the people that we elect, the people that we pay, the people that we choose to make these decisions for us, they're at gridlock about the whole situation because also nobody was willing to listen to each other for the sake of the children. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. I mean, there's other mass shootings. This happens every day. This happens every day. And the choice of weapon is usually the rifle. And like I said before, I am a proud gun owner. I am a proud rifle owner. But it's not that important for me to have a rifle for the sake of my kids. And a lot of people will feel that same way. But at the same time, a lot of people think this can never happen to them. And I'm willing to tell you, it can. It can happen to you. There are some people that's gone through this multiple times. I was listening to the news the other day, and there was one woman that was in the Highland Park, survived the Highland Park mass shooting. And now she's going through this new one that's I want to say it's Nashville. I'm not sure. I think it's Nashville. If not, then I apologize, but I think it's in Tennessee. But something's got to be done. Something's got to be done about it. I've even talked about this situation before on this very podcast, and it just seems to be something that we are always circling around to. And after, it seems like they're gonna talk about this for a week nonstop on the news, and then they'll stop until the next one, and then they'll bring everything back up. And it's yes, there's a lot of media coverage. Yes, there's a lot of attention to it, but there's never attention to it when it's not happening, when it's not fresh. I'm just sick of the whole, just allowing it to happen. Because at this point, what can I say? It's just being allowed to happen because nobody with real power, nobody with the real legislative power is doing anything about it. That's all I got to say about that. All right, so like I told y'all before, WrestleMania coming up quick. I'm about to talk to my boy Hatred. Y'all gonna see this whole interview. We're gonna go through literally every match of WrestleMania. We're gonna go over some predictions and surprises that may happen during WrestleMania. Here it is. Boom. Yo, what is up? I'm here with the one and only Rodden Hatred, Kimmy Casanova. What's good with you, man?
Hey, nothing much, you know. How's everything? I'm excited for the day, you know?
Hell yeah, hell yeah. So, I brought you here so we could talk about or preview WrestleMania 39. So,
Okay.
first off, right off the rip, when you look at the WrestleMania card right now, just right now, when you look at that WrestleMania card, are you excited for it?
Oh, I'm ecstatic, you know what I mean? Amazed, you
Okay.
know. I've been waiting for something like this, you know, a potential chance to see maybe a separation of, the US, I'm sorry, not the US, the WWE Heavyweight Championship, you know.
Okay.
Maybe brands are going to be getting back their championships, you know. I feel like that's what kind of made the brand strong. So I'm kind of kind of happy to see if, KO, Sami Zayn can actually get it done, you know.
Okay.
I feel like right now Raw is it's not getting as much love as it needs.
Got you. I feel you. There is like a little mismatch when it comes to like the star power that you get on Monday Night Raw versus what you would get on SmackDown. You know what I'm saying? SmackDown just seems like it's a tighter show. With Raw being 3 hours, it's kind of hard to kind of get away from those dead segments, those filling in the gap segments that Raw has. But what I want to do right now, I want to go through the whole card. I want to go through the
Okay.
whole card, and I want your thoughts on every match. Like every match, is it something you want to see? Is it what you excited for in that match? And who do you think possibly is going to take it? So what I want to first start off with, this is kind of like a group thing. I'm throwing a lot in the pot right here. So we got these fatal four-way tag matches, fatal four-way tag matches for both the men's for not the titles, but the number one contendership for the men's title and the number one contendership for the women's heavy tag team champion. So how do you feel about those matches?
I'm excited for it.
Okay.
I don't really think that the Viking Raiders side with Braun Strowman and Ricochet is really going to take it. I feel like as far as heat, the Alpha Academy and the Street Profits are going to be kind of going out, with a win on that bad boy.
I think something wonky is going to happen with the Alpha Academy.
Okay.
If you've been watching, Otis has been looks like he's being recruited by what are they called? The Maximum Models?
Oh, the Maximum Male Models.
Yeah, the Maximum Male Models. So Otis look like he's
OTs.
being recruited for that. So
Well,
I don't
what
know.
if,
I think something wonky gonna happen. I don't think they gonna take it. I think that's gonna be man, it's either up to Ricochet and Strowman
mhm.
or I'm sorry, or Street Profits. Either one of
Well,
those two gonna get that.
how do you feel about the Street Profits as well? They've been kind of, teasing Montez going solo
That's
every
gonna happen. That's
every
gonna
other
happen.
episode. Do you think it's
That's
the
gonna happen.
time?
Not now, but it's gonna happen. So if just say okay. So just say this does happen. Just say
Hmm.
this does happen, where the not Alpha Academy, but Street Profits win. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying?
Hmm.
I believe they're gonna be in the program, and we'll get to Kevin Owens and the the Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn versus the Usos. We'll get to that later, but I think they're gonna be in a program with them, and that's what's gonna cause the split because they're not giving Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens those belts just to relinquish
Oh
them
yeah.
up.
I don't think
That's not
so.
gonna happen. They're
I
gonna
tell you
have
what.
they're gonna have those at least till SummerSlam. That's how I feel.
Oh yeah. I mean, I could definitely feel like SummerSlam is where it's going to go down. It's going to be heartbreaking. I'm a big fan of the Street Profits, but Tez has to shine, and so does Angelo Dawkins. It's
I'm
about
not gonna
time that
lie. A lot of people are talking about Tez, but Angelo Dawkins been
he's getting
opening
in
up
shape.
eyes, man. Yes,
This
he
is the
is.
part where you're seeing him jump over the rope. He's doing a lot more high flying, a little bit more dangerous wrestling. You know what I mean? We're not
It's
used to this, Angelo
yeah,
Dawkins. Sorry.
yeah. It's like he saw Tez getting some shine. And was like, man, I want some of that shine. What am I, chopped
Hmm.
liver? And he
Oh
just
yeah.
he's starting to perform at like almost on the same level as Tez. So That's gonna be interesting to see them two in a program together. Beefing. I'm for it. I'm all for
it's
it, bro.
going off. Okay, it's going off.
Now, are you any way interested in this women's fatal 4-way? Because I am not. I am not.
Unfortunately, I am not. Ever since the tag team championships for the women's side kind of got sit into a limbo, it was at that moment where I feel like the tag team division kind of started declining. The factions made, but there's nothing really to hold them together. There's no real flavor coming to the table.
Now, here's something I noticed. With that. So tonight, if you watched SmackDown tonight, you saw what's the two MMA
Shayna Baszler
and
Ronda Rousey.
Ronda Rousey come out and they
Mm-hmm.
filled the third spot. Now I'm kind of like side-eyeing it. I'm like, wait a minute, hold on. We still
Something's
need
a bit off.
Right. Well, that they was the third team granted into this fatal 4-way. Now, at first I said up until this point, not really interested, but there's one team left. Now, who could be better? What tag team can be bigger than Shayna Baszler and Ronda Rousey?
I mean, there's a few.
It's not going to be Trish. It's not going to be Trish Stratus and Lita because they already in program.
No.
So who can it be?
Contracts.
Now, here's the thing: if this gets filled, if that slot gets filled on Raw or the next coming SmackDown, then no. But if they leave this slot open,
okay,
I have to believe it's going to be Naomi and Sasha Banks.
I 100% believe that as well. I was telling my buddy, I said, "Look, if it's definitely on Friday, we are going to see the return."
I don't think it's going to be on Friday. I think it's going to be like one of those WrestleMania moments where they just walk out.
True.
I think WWE is good for those WrestleMania moments. If you remember Cody Rhodes and you remember Hardy Boys like 5 or 6 years ago, nobody knew. Yeah,
everyone thought it was New Day, and Hardy's pulled out. They just stepped to the side and said, "Here you go, here you go. This is what you get."
Yep. So I mean, I'm looking at it like, okay, this might have a little work here, but still at the same time, I've had the rug pulled out from under me before, so I'm not really trusting it with WWE and their tag team division, especially the women's tag team division. But we'll see. All right,
anything's possible. We might see a Nia Jax return again.
Oh God,
I know. I know.
All right, so next on the docket, you got Lita, Trish Stratus, Becky Lynch versus Damage Control. Interested or not?
I mean, I know it's going to be a squash match. There's no way that Lita is taking this home. I'm sorry, I just don't really see it happening. It's time to pull up the younger talent. And you see that a lot. Where you would bring these legends. That have been pinnacle, been in the scene forever and a day. But they're here to show the newer generation that it's their time to do it. It's how do I say? WrestleMania feels like they're passing the torch in a few of these matches. No,
I don't
really?
Think so. I don't think so. I think they tried. They want to end that match with Lita, Trish Stratus, and Becky Lynch holding, with their head held high and raising their hands.
Really?
I don't think they've never really invested anything in the Damage Control. Damage Control is just like it's like they purposely went out their way to just like fuck these girls over, and it's not just WWE. Even like they're in the ring and they just like half-assing it and promos and stuff like that. Bayley's cool. Don't get me wrong, Bayley's cool.
Bayley can cut it anytime. Yeah, I feel like they're kind of
the other two that just like they just they need to get Bayley away from these girls. Like, and I think it's to the point Bayley's done enough for Io Sky and I can't think of the other girl's name from NXT that was there.
I can't remember.
Yeah,
it's always bad when you can't remember. But
I know. I mean, it'll pop to me. It ain't like she's good. She's definitely good at NXT, but just not coming to me right now. But I don't know. I mean, this is Lita and Trish Stratus we talking about. They're not coming to WrestleMania.
True.
And another, like, yes, if Becky Lynch went in there, maybe I think about that. But this is Becky Lynch. They're not letting Becky Lynch, the man, lose at WrestleMania. I don't see it. I mean, I could be
Mm-hmm.
wrong. I just don't see it. I could be wrong. I just don't see it. All right.
It'll be
Asuka.
exciting to see.
Yeah. We got Asuka and Bianca Belair for the for the Raw women's title.
Honestly, it's cool to see Asuka change her character, but I feel like we're not seeing Asuka pull any promos. We're not really seeing a lot of anything out of her. The most we're seeing out of Asuka is her smiling. You know what I mean? She goes in a random place, she smiles, that's it. You know, I'm supposed to believe in this match of, the championship could be potentially changed. It kind of felt like a Shinsuke run,
Yeah.
where Shinsuke would come, he would win the championship, and they would try to interview him, and he just goes, "I don't speak English anymore." And it's like, you were speaking English before. What happened to you?
Why don't they get Asuka a mouthpiece?
Thank you.
Why is it that she's not had a somebody who can speak for her? Because I mean, nobody we don't her promos aren't getting over because she's a lot of times speaking a different language. We don't speak Japanese, so I don't know. It's just so easy to fix Asuka.
Yeah, and
and they did try. She comes out with the new face paint, which is an old character of hers back in New Japan.
Kana, I remember.
Yeah, and it's just not going over because it's a watered down version of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a watered down version of it. I do believe this is. I think it's time to get Bianca Belair off that title. I think they're gonna give it to Asuka, even though I like Asuka.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think her character has gotten over, but also I think Belair's title reign is getting a little stale. They got to do something with it.
I think what did it for me was when Asuka lost her undefeated streak to Charlotte way back in the day. I feel like her heat kind of just simmered. We didn't really see her go for the championships that much, because that was back when they removed the rematch clause. So then she went for the tag team, but again, nobody was really interested in tag team. So to see Asuka go for the win, I'm finding it a little bit difficult to back her since Bianca's been holding it down. I wouldn't mind a change, but I would need a stronger someone to step into that position.
I think they made her weak a few years ago when they gave her the Becky Lynch's title. I don't know if you remember that. She won a Money in the Bank, and then the very next day they just gave her the title.
And it didn't feel like anything. It didn't really feel like a large surprise. It was just, there you go.
Yeah. I think that made her very weak. And they. Just WWE's booking also. I mean, she loses these weird matches. It's I don't know, man. Asuka's a legit badass. You know what I'm saying?
That is true.
Especially just like you mentioned, to your point, that run she went on when she was undefeated. She was winning match. She was bulldozing for people.
Dangerous.
And now she's losing matches to people she was losing matches to just everybody. Carmella.
Yeah, I was going to say, Carmella returns and Asuka loses. It's like, this is supposed to be getting a match at WrestleMania?
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't think this is a WrestleMania worthy match, but you have to do something with the title. But like I said, I think Bianca Belair, her title reign has hit a wall. And they need to cool off for a little bit. Not cool off, but they need to, we need to forget about Bianca just for a few months, and then she come back and people will love her again, and then put her back in the mix. Don't give her the title, but put her back in the mix.
Oh yeah, I'm 100% for that.
Yep. All right. Next on the docket, there's a lot of matches. We're gonna roll through these motherfuckers, but
I'm here for it.
Finn Balor versus Edge.
Again, I feel like it's just one of those passing of the torch matches. I don't really feel a lot from it. I feel like they've been dragging this feud for months on months. And just when you're like, okay, maybe Judgment Day is getting into a different, oh, wait, no, Edge is back. Now we got to deal with Beth Phoenix again. I just feel like it's being dragged by now. How do you feel about it?
This match is complete filler. It is complete filler. Like they didn't have nothing to do. I'm tired. I like Edge and I like Finn. But I don't know. It's this feud has gone on long enough. Time to do something else with Edge. I want to see Edge back in the title mix. I'm not even gonna lie. I think Edge should be in the title mix. He shouldn't be. And I think Finn should be in there too. Like, I don't know, man. Or at least for an IC title, you know what I'm saying? Make the IC. Well, honestly, the IC title has been, those secondary titles have been pretty good. But I think they should be in the mix with those. Now, here's the thing. I think they're trying to pivot towards a demon Finn Balor.
Oh, yeah.
And Edge is his Brood gimmick. You know what I'm saying? So if they do that, you know what I'm saying? I'm a little bit on board. I'm a little bit intrigued, but that's if they do it.
The problem I have with that is with Edge and Finn Balor matches or Edge with Damian Priest matches, we always see the same thing, which is interference. It's none of the faction members are injured, which means they're going to be 100% there, regardless if they have a match. You know what I mean? I just feel like it's going to be sort of the same thing we're getting on Raw. The same thing we're getting on SmackDown, which is, okay, Edge is finally winning. Now they have the advantage. I feel like the only way to sort of cement Finn Balor back into the position or Edge means it has to be 100% a clean win.
Yeah, true. I do think they'll be a little busy tonight since Rhea Ripley is facing Charlotte, and then we are finally. It took a while, but it looked like we getting Dom Mysterio versus Rey Mysterio. So I doubt if they come out. You know what I'm saying? I doubt if they come out late. I mean, early before they matches, and I doubt if they'll come out after that. So I don't know. I'm not really sold on this match. It's like I've seen it before. Like, how many times can I see
over and over?
Come on, man. Let's do something else with Edge. Let's do something else with Finn.
Unless Edge is pulling out another Brood, a Brood 2.0. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That would be dope.
Because Edge needs backup.
Who would you put in the Brood 2.0?
Oh shoot!
I know it's I'm putting you on the spotlight, but like who?
No. Honestly, we would need something that would be so left that nobody would predict it, right? So think of a guy like LA Knight, like he's cocky, you know what I mean? To see him take 3 back steps where he's taking a follower role would blow everybody's mind. The rooftop would 100% fall off. Instead of him controlling the crowd, he's taking the back. And, and every time he does a move, that's when he gets his cockiness back. But you have Edge to pull him back like the Reigns to make a brand new faction.
I don't know, man. I feel LA Knight, his gimmick is good right now. I think don't mess with LA Knight. LA Knight is killing it. He's hilarious. And I've been a fan. I've been a fan since LA Knight since Impact, man. Like,
oh yeah, I mean, you can't go wrong with the button. Yeah. You remember the button? I need him to bring the button back.
Yeah. I bet I just leave LA Knight alone. But what if they got some people from like NXT? Because that would be better. Because if you remember, Gangrel back in the day had Edge and Christian. We didn't know who Edge and Christian was when they popped out. We didn't know. He went and got some young guys. Now it would be cool to see. It'll be cool to see Edge go to NXT, bring up some younger talent. What's those? Oh goodness, I can't think of their name. The Skade,
Are you talking about Schism?
Schism, yes. What if he went and got Schism? See, to me, something like that fits.
Schism is perfect, especially with the Rock's daughter in there. I've watched a few of their matches, and I feel like the attitude that they're bringing to the table, it is going to be scary good when they arrive to Monday Night Raw or SmackDown.
Gotcha. And I'm gonna get that. You know how the Raw after WrestleMania always be popping. So we're gonna get into that a little bit later. But all right, so the next one, this is what I'm excited for. See, now we get into the meat of wrestling.
Let's go. I'm ready. Enough bread.
Gunther, Sheamus, Drew McIntyre, triple threat.
Okay. This is the only match I'm insanely nervous about. Because hear me out. Gunther is facing 2 past WWE Championship winners. You know what I mean? Which means if he wins this match, this is cementing him. This is the point on where people are going, the ring is absolutely sacred and he is not someone to mess with. Now, at the same time, we're going to see a more desperate Sheamus, in my opinion, because this is the last championship he needs to become Grand Slam. As far as Drew McIntyre goes, he's had it plenty of times before. So I don't necessarily think he's going to be taking the win, but I think it's going to boil down to Gunther and Sheamus, and we're going to see another hardcore match like they had before.
I think right now, Drew is Teflon. You can't hurt him. Like he can lose every night, but he's still fucking Drew McIntyre. You can't fuck with him. Same with Sheamus, but I get your point. Sheamus need that one IC title so he can get his first Grand Slam out the way. The person I think needs this win the most on a grand stage is Gunther, and I think they're gonna put. I think they putting a lot behind Gunther, and I think Gunther is gonna be in that world title mix at some point starting this year. And I think this is that catapult. We seen what he did at Royal Rumble. We see what he did at Royal Rumble. I ain't gonna say he stole the show, but he was pretty. I mean, he
put
was
it
what
in work.
he was 1 or 2 in the Rumble.
Sure,
I think he was.
Pretty sure he was 2.
He was 2. He was 2. He was 2. And he just had a hell of a performance. And he's just been, Imperium. I mean, they just been killing it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I think this is Gunther's show, and I do think this triple threat match will steal the show. I'm looking at this. You talking about it's gonna be hard hitting. It's gonna be a tight match. It's gonna be a tight match. It's gonna be, these guys get snug in the ring. They get snug. They get them hard hits. This is gonna be crazy. I can't wait for it. Like this one of them was like, soon as they announce it, I'm like, no.
Oh yeah, because you're gonna hear them chops all night ringing.
Yes, this is gonna be physical. This is probably gonna be the most physical match.
Probably the most bloodiest too, as well.
You think they're gonna draw some blood? That'd be cool.
I think so. Because last time Gunther and Sheamus went in, they definitely drew a lot of blood.
All right.
With the chops alone. Sorry, go ahead.
Gotcha. All right. So this right here is what a lot of people I see like on social media talk about. Mm-hmm. You got Brock Lesnar versus Omos. How do you feel about Brock Lesnar and Omos? I want your honest opinion.
Honest opinion, I feel like this belongs in the bread category. It's definitely the filler. It's not the meat. I don't see Omos really going over, but if he does over Brock Lesnar, that's going to change Omos's position from just being the giant monster guy to an actual, a bread maker. You know what I mean? He's going to be able to come back on Raw, and this is where we're going to start to see the Hurt Business or, Omos himself start taking over, because so far we haven't really seen Omos be cemented. He had that fight against Braun Strowman, and it didn't go well for him, unfortunately. But at the same time, I think if there was a way to cement Omos as someone who is actually dangerous and lethal, and not just another sort of like a great colleague repeat,
Oh God, yeah.
Everyone goes, "You see this man up here? He's tall." That's about it, I think this is the part where we're going to actually see Omos win over Brock Lesnar, and this is going to start cementing his legit run where maybe he'll go for a championship and hold it. And hopefully he doesn't do it all the way with MVP, because it'll be kind of cool to just see him build as a single wrestler as well, because he has a good voice.
Oh, yeah. He looks scary. Mm-hmm. See, I wasn't on the bandwagon with everybody else. I like this, and I liked it from day one.
Okay.
When I see Brock Lesnar and Omos in a ring, I'm curious at this point. Looking at Brock have to look up at somebody, it's something you never really seen before. When you seen him, he botched the move, or I don't think Omos botched. I think Brock botched the little flip out of the ring.
I kind of say it feels like a John Cena Big Show match again. Strong man, bigger man.
Yeah. But you saw fear in Brock Lesnar's eyes. Like, I'm curious about this. This right here, these type of matches, these spectacle matches, these events, these I'm not looking for no 5-star match out of this. I'm not even looking for 3 stars. But I do, and I'm not looking for emotion either. I do want to be shocked though. I want to see Omos do something. I want to see Omos treat Brock like nobody has ever treated him.
Just a rag doll,
Yeah. I mean, I want to see Brock get ragdolled. Not because I dislike Brock. I actually like Brock. Just because I've never seen it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So it's something there. There's some meat on the bones. This is the genius of Vince McMahon, because I know this shit got Vince McMahon written all over. This is Vince McMahon. This is how I know
Oh,
Vince
yeah.
McMahon is still back there, with the
Oh yeah,
force.
he never left. That chair
But
stays with him.
this right here is what made Vince McMahon Vince McMahon. This shit right here, he is great at. Hogan versus the Undertaker. Hogan versus Andre the Giant. Like you mentioned before, Cena versus Big Show. It's shit like that. He knows how to put people in the ring to make you be like, wow.
It's
what
the
hell
power of the
happen?
what if.
This is not gonna be like no Juju and Thunder Lager versus
I hear you.
it's not gonna be nothing like that, but it's gonna be something that we're gonna be like, wow. And I think at the end of it, people gonna look and be like, you know what, that was not as bad as I thought it was gonna be. I'm excited for it. I am, and I know I'm on the short list, but I'm excited for it. Here's a match that just materialized today, and before I even get into what that match is, Dominic Mysterio, and this is another thing I'm on the short list with. I actually like Dom Mysterio. I think whatever this chicken shit role he playing is a great role. I do love this chicken shit heel role he's playing.
He reminds me of the old school wrestlers,
Yes, exactly.
It sort of brings some sort of nostalgia back into it, where you're just like, okay, you're getting away with it, but I don't gotta like it for this reason.
The little vignettes of him trying to show up for Christmas and Thanksgiving, shit is money. Pairing him up with Rhea Ripley, that shit is money. Straight money. I think like the kid get a lot of shit on social media, and I don't get it. I think he's killing it with what he has. He's believable. His promos are not bad. Like I don't get why he's getting shit. I don't get why he's getting a go away heat. But I'm feeling Dominic Mysterio, and I'm actually looking forward to this match between Dominic Mysterio and his father, Rey Mysterio. Seeing as though Rey looks like he got one foot out the door. He's going to be inducted to the WWE Hall of Fame that night before Mania.
Yeah, I think it's about time. Rey is going to pass the torch to his son and cement him as the one, the heel that actually everyone is going to eventually love. That's the problem.
Exactly. Now you were talking about pass the torch earlier. I think this is a passing of the torch match. This is one of them. You know how it works in the WWE. You rarely get to leave out with your head, with the arm raised. You know what I'm saying? Usually in WWE, if you're on your way out, you got to give back to the business.
Kurt Angle and Baron Corbin.
Yep. Rey will give back to the business. So I do expect to see Dom. I don't know. Yes, I expect Dom to win, but I don't expect him to stay heel. Something crazy might happen where, what's the guy's name? The guy that's not doing nothing in Mania, the tall guy. Punishment Martinez. What's his name?
I can't remember, but I know who you're talking about.
Why am I forgetting all these wrestlers' names? Whatever. You know who I'm talking about. The Arrow guy. He might attack Rey or something like that, and then Rey, something's gonna happen. I just don't think after beating your father, you can stay, and your father's going away, you can stay as that heel.
Oh yeah,
something wonky might happen.
I think. Let me say. I think honestly, this is where the Judgment Day really proved that it's time to retire Rey Mysterio, and that's going to give Dominic the change of heart. I think it's going to get a little bit too brutal. We might, see a chair shot or two, and then it's just going to turn around where Dominic's like, it's still my father, and you're not going to do this,
Exactly.
And this is either going to be the Judgment Day turning on him or him turning on the Judgment Day. But either way, I expect that Dominic would eventually get over.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that match. I'm looking forward to seeing Rey's last match. I've been a Rey Mysterio fan since early WCW.
Oh yeah.
So
what was your favorite storyline with Rey? You remind me asking.
The one with him and Eddie Guerrero with Dominic. Okay. Ironically, with Dominic. Yes. Nacho Poppy. Usual Poppy. That shit. That was one. There was an old storyline back in WCW with Rey Mysterio versus Kevin Nash. And it's so funny. So Kevin Nash, I don't know if you watch old WCW Monday Night Wars Nitro. Ray lost the match where he had to take off his mask, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he take off the mask, and so it's everybody's first time seeing Rey Mysterio's face. Kevin Nash looks at him, he's like, "Put that motherfucker back on, bro."
Like, no, I'm good.
He's like, "Wait a minute, bro. No, put it back on, bro. Put it back on." So that was a good storyline. That's when Rey Mysterio was known as the Giant Killer.
Mm-hmm.
So he was going around beating all them big dudes. But yeah, Rey Mysterio been good for a long time, a very long time. I'm not a fan of his finishing move. I always like the one
or the splash.
619. I like the one back in the day where he would jump off the ropes and give you a Hurricane Rana all in the same motion.
I know.
So it was just so quick, man. That shit used to be crazy. All right, let's move on. This is another one I'm looking at, like, you know, this might have some potential. Seth Rollins versus Logan Paul.
Heat. It is hot in that ring tonight. I will let you know. I don't know necessarily if this is where Logan is going to be put over, because he did lose recently. You don't see celebrities lose often. You know, that's a little bit on the different spectrum, you know, so he's kind of the anomaly, you know, because you've got so many celebrities who come in and, you know, what is it, Mayweather, you know, Johnny Knoxville, and you see them win their matches, and then that's it. But this is someone, like, you know, a kid who's constantly coming back. He's winning a few of his matches. He's already had, you know, a very high-scale championship match. So I don't know where it's going to go exactly. What's your opinion on it? You ready for it? You feeling it?
The difference between the other names you mentioned, Johnny Knoxville, who was it? Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah.
Some of the other ones. Logan Paul actually knows what he's doing in the ring, which is crazy to me that he's just this fucking good. It's fucking crazy that he, and it could have been a thing where, you know, it seemed like Ronda Rousey got it pretty quick, even though she's kind of regressed. a
little sluggish, but she's got it.
Yeah. Bad Bunny caught it right away. You know.
Oh yeah.
Logan Paul caught it right away, and it's crazy to see what he can do in the ring. He does some crazy shit. But here's the thing, man. Seth Rollins been taking so many L's, and Seth Rollins, that's another Teflon guy. Doesn't matter if he loses, he will still get over. He'll find a way to get
5-star match every single time.
Exactly. But at the same time, man, Seth got to get some W's, man. I really don't care about Logan Paul winning matches. I really don't. It's cool to see him in the ring. It's cool to see what he can do. But at the end of the day, he is still a part-timer. And Seth Rollins is a lifer. I want to see Seth Rollins get the W. I hope they put the W on Seth Rollins. And, you know, maybe Logan Paul can have a match at another pay-per-view and go over versus someone else. But not Seth Rollins. Seth can't keep losing, man. Like, Seth
is the architect. He needed to stop losing months ago. You know what I mean?
I mean, him and Cody, and, you know, Seth should have won one of them matches versus Cody.
Yeah, I'm not gonna. I get they're trying to put Cody over, but every single match, come on.
And here's the thing: that's I ain't gonna say it's the best. What do they call it? Best trilogy. It's up there. It's top 10 for one of the best trilogy. You got Flair and Steamboat. You got Okada and Kenny Omega. You got some pretty cool trilogies. That's right up there with them. That's top 5. Those 3 matches between Seth and Cody, beautiful matches, and I just think Seth should have won one of them. Come on, man. You could have let him win that one in the middle, man.
Something. Seth won at just jumping, essentially, and starting the next match.
So, and then, you know, it just seems like Rollins just keeps losing in big moments lately, and I'm tired of it. It's time for him to get a W, man. Time for Rollins to get a W. As far as what I think about this match, I think it's going to be a good match. I think it's going to be crazy. Logan Paul will do something that's going, you know,
we might see that
blow our minds, you know. Yeah. So, but I want to see. I want to see Rollins get that W. All right, Cena versus Theory.
You know what I'm going to say? This is the torch. It's either going to be two situations. It's either going to be the torch or the shovel.
Nah, I think we getting the torch.
Really?
I think we getting the torch. Yeah. That Cena's not done as far as they're gonna at some point, maybe in the near future, not near future, but like 3-4 years from now, they will put another title reign on Cena just so he can have a record over Flair and have a WWE guy with the record instead of Flair. But this ain't it. It's not even close to being it. I think Cena is going to do what's best for business, and he going to put Theory over. This is going to be it depends on what kind of John Cena we get. We know John Cena is a ring general. When I say that, John Cena is rarely in bad matches. I ain't saying he's like Kenny Omega or anything like that, but John Cena is a genius when it comes to booking his own, like booking matches or knowing placement in matches and calling out shit to make your match good. He's not the most athletic. He's not the most agile, but the matches you're going to have with Cena, because he's just a genius in a ring, I'm looking for this to be a really good match, but at the same time, Cena ain't been in a ring a lot lately. In that SmackDown match he had, he really didn't do anything. So I don't know what we going to get. I don't know what we going to get, but I do know Theory's going over.
Yeah, I think Theory might be going over. Theory lost his Money in the Bank championship. I feel like this is where they're kind of cementing him as the one that cannot be beat at the moment. Holding that U.S. title, they're making sure that it stays more important than anything, because he's honestly holding down Raw. Raw doesn't have a lot of championships in it.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, they need to put him over on that, that grand stage, and I think this is it. And I think he should keep running with it. I don't think he's main event yet. 2-3 years he will be. I think right now he should be, kind of where he is now, fighting the Damian Priest. That's the guy's name. Damian Priest. The Lash. Well, Lashley's Lashley's still in that. He ain't, he still can float either way with the,
I feel like we haven't seen Lashley in a minute,
Well, Lashley had that program with Bray Wyatt, and that shit got canceled. So now they got it sucks, but they got Lashley in a Andre the Giant Battle Royal.
Yeah,
fucking sucks, bro.
Like I said, it was kind of cool, getting a little hints of maybe we'll see the Hurt Business. But as soon as we saw Lashley saying, "I could do this by myself, you gotta let me," and then that was it.
Bro, I love the Hurt Business, bro.
You and me both.
The Hurt Business was one of the best things WWE.
What did MVP say? He said, "Business is good.
Business is good. Business is booming." It was one Hurt Business moment that just had me dying laughing. Do you remember where it was maybe like 2 years ago where Shane McMahon was throwing like death matches in the back?
Yeah.
He was throwing like these bare knuckle boxing matches in the fucking back. I forget what they called it, but
I think everybody forgot what they called it.
Bro,
right?
It's funny, but they were back. They back there squabbing and shit like that. And the Hurt Business went out the back there and whooped everybody's
everyone
ass,
in sight.
They beat everybody's ass, and it was one part, and you could barely hear it. But MVP said, "Lashley, he just said something about your mama."
Yeah. Lashley
was like, Lashley, I just heard him. He said something about your mama. But man, they went back. I thought that was so. And then you never saw that segment again. The segment was dead after that, man. The Hurt Business went back there and whooped everybody's ass, and you never saw that shit no more. That's what Omos was from, if you really think about it. Omos was guarding the door, if you remember.
Yeah. That's why I'm like, oh, please bring them back with Omos. Come on now.
Yeah. All right. So now we get into the main events.
Okay.
Usos versus Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens.
Unpopular opinion, but like you said, I don't think Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens are the ones to rip the titles apart.
What?
I don't. I'm sorry.
Oh, they getting them titles, bro. They getting them titles.
I think if they do get the titles, there's going to be something in the the match clause that only allows them to take half of it. You know what I mean? They're either going to take the SmackDown or Raw championships, but I think there's more solid teams that could take them apart than those two because they're still on the D Trust level. They just got back together, and who knows? We might see them, a little turmoil where we're going to see them, either start competing with each other or start pushing each other around where it costs them the match.
Yeah, well, this is what I believe. I believe ultimately it's Roman Reigns need his break from wrestling for a while. Every big star does. This bloodline storyline has, I ain't saying it's run its course at all, but it's been going on for a very long time. This bloodline thing been going on for what, 2 or 3 years now. And they need to end it. And they've been hitting at it, a bloodline implosion. The only way there can be a bloodline implosion is if Jay, Jimmy, and Solo look at Roman without that damn title. Look at themselves without no damn title. And the shit go downhill. And I think that's what's going to happen. I think the bloodline is going to fade away for a little bit while Roman is, getting his, Roman been, he's been part-time like the last maybe 6 months. But before that, Roman was every week. You would get that Roman segment. He was even defending the title on SmackDown at some point.
Oh yeah, crushing everybody. Do you think this is the point where Solo's going to get a little bit too emotional? They've been kind of hinting that Solo's ready.
I think Solo been getting shine. The bloodline will implode, and you're just gonna see a 3-man wrecking crew between the Usos and Solo. I think that's what's going to happen. They're going to turn on Roman. Yeah. They're going to turn on Roman, and he might be, you saw Roman last week. He yelled at Jimmy. He yelled at Jay. He got in Solo's face. Something is about to happen with the bloodline.
Roman's kind of back to his right-hand man moment, where he started going, hey, you're not listening to me? I need you to hold back. Yeah. And Solo's like, I'm ready for this. So we're going to have to see.
So I think because of that, the Usos are going to lose the title to Zayn and Owens. Man, I think that's going to happen. And like I said, Zayn and Owens going to have those titles at least to SummerSlam. Yeah, that's what I think is going to happen.
Okay.
All right, let's move on. Rhea Ripley. We got Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte Flair.
Rhea's taking this home. Charlotte Flair's promos, they're not there. We're not seeing her as active. We're seeing Rhea every single night, whether it's Raw or SmackDown. I 100% am backing Ripley. I think this is her time to shine, and this is this is going to be the first step to really cement it. Regardless of what happens between Dominic and Rey, this is what's going to cement Judgment Day as the actual faction to not be messed with.
Right. And as quiet as it's kept, and I don't know if you've ever caught it, Rhea is the leader of that group.
Oh, yeah.
She is definitely the leader of that group. And you're right. It seems like they only brought back Charlotte Flair so Rhea Ripley can have somebody worthy to drop to get the title from.
Oh, yeah.
And you have to put her in a ring with someone as big as her so it don't feel like Rhea Ripley being a bully. Rhea Ripley is skying over fucking Becky Lynch.
Well, and they have the past feud from NXT as well. Rhea.
Exactly.
Flair, so it'll be.
And they had a WrestleMania. They had a WrestleMania match. This is their second WrestleMania match. I'm looking forward to this match. This is going to be a really good match.
Oh yeah.
This is another one that might steal the show. And I don't know if you remember. Yeah, I don't know if you remember. Who was I forget? It might have been Sasha Banks and Charlotte stole one of them WrestleManias. Charlotte and Asuka did really good at a WrestleMania. Charlotte Flair shows up at WrestleManias. I think this is going to be a match. This is one that's possibly going to steal the show. But Rhea Ripley's taking this home for sure. I can't see it no other way. It's her time. She is literally one of the MVPs of WWE in the last year. She has been hitting home runs, just like I said with Dom. Just, Rhea Ripley has just been hitting home runs and believable in the ring, and I just want to see it, man. And she kind of sexy too.
It's the promos, you know what I mean? With her being able to take the audience and wherever the audience needs to go, she is driving the bus 100%.
Yep. All right, man. We at that main event.
Okay.
We at that main event.
Okay.
Cody versus Roman for the undisputed Universal WWE Heavyweight title. Who getting it?
So remember when I said that I don't think that Sami Zayn and KO is taking it? The reason why is I think Roman Reigns is going to be losing it. And I think that is what's going to implode the bloodline. You know, we're going to see Roman Reigns finally snap. He's going to start attacking his own family because he's lost the one thing he truly cared about. And this is what's going to lead them to take over. So that's why I said, you know, I don't really think that the Usos are losing their tag matches. I think they're going to be turning on Roman Reigns because they see how selfish he is.
You might have something there. I could definitely see that. But I agree with you too. Ain't no way Cody losing this match. Cody is walking away with these titles.
He's too hot. The promos are going in.
Yeah, and not only that, like I mentioned before, Roman need his break. You know, I think that they've been hitting at that break for a while with him. With, you know, you see Roman maybe 2 times a month on either program, so they've been hitting at that. We all know Roman had battled cancer and came right back.
Oh yeah.
So I think they're gonna give Roman a break till right before. He might do a little something, maybe a little match at WWE WrestleMania Backlash, and then we're not gonna see Roman for a while, probably to either right after SummerSlam or for a SummerSlam match. But I'm looking forward to this match. Roman matches are always good. He's another one that's just really good in the ring. And when I say that, I don't mean like a good pro wrestler. I'm talking about just somebody in the ring that tells a good story. That's what Roman is. Roman tells a really good story in the ring. And I think this match is going to be emotional. I think it's going to be a huge story in the ring. And it's going to be that moment, that everlasting moment watching Cody hold those belts.
Oh, yeah. And like I said, I think
that's money.
For him.
That's print money right there. Him holding those belts, and then you get the little silhouette of his father or something. That's money.
Oh yeah,
that's money. Oh, yeah. That's straight money.
What's going to happen? Fireworks are going to be going straight off. You know.
Yep.
This is it. We know what's happening.
Hell yeah! Now before we get out of here, I got a few more questions. I know I said 30 minutes. We didn't talk for almost 50.
Hey.
All right. So we already know what's closing out night number 1. I mean night number 2. That's going to be Cody and Roman. Who's closing out night number 1? What match? You think it's the Usos? There's 2 ways you can go with this. The Usos versus Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, or Rhea Ripley, Charlotte Flair. Who's closing out night number 1?
It's got to be Rhea Ripley and Charlotte Flair.
You think so?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I think that is what's gonna not skyrocket, but it's gonna launch it straight to the moon. That's gonna bring the right kind of momentum where everyone's gonna be in so shocked they're gonna be like, I don't know if we're gonna be prepared for the next day.
So where do you fit in the tag match, the tag title match? Is that night number 1 or night number 2?
It's got to be 1 because, like I said, I think the Usos will retain, and then I think the day number 2 is going to be when Roman Reigns loses it,
and then we gonna have a crazy ass Monday Night Raw. All right.
Oh yeah.
Any surprises that you expect at this WrestleMania 39? Any surprise? You know, you always get a surprise. You always get something that you weren't thinking about. Could it be The Rock? You know, popping his head out, you know, giving Roman a message. Maybe The Rock's music come on, which causes Cody to win. Could it be Switchblade Jay White?
Okay.
Could it be Brian Cage?
I got somebody that'll blow your mind right now. You ready for this?
Oh shit! Okay.
You ready you strapped in? The person who I think will surprise us the most at WrestleMania is going to be Rikishi to tell his sons to get it together. You
think Rikishi gonna come out?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
It's about time Rikishi sets his.
Not only that, but what if the council come out? You know, Alpha and Sika come out with the. That would be dope. That would be dope. I think we
That
might
would
get
be
something
amazing.
like that. I
That
think
would
we
be
might get
amazing.
something like that.
If the council comes out and gives a thumbs down to Roman, saying he's been abusing this family, it's the roof is going to blow up, 100%.
I think if something like that, and it's going to follow into my next question. I think
Mm-hmm.
something like that will happen where they're starting a new story or telling a story, which would be Monday Night Raw after WrestleMania. That crazy ass Monday Night Raw after Mania, where just you start seeing a new talent coming in from NXT. And I'm really looking forward to what's the guy's name? Carmelo Hayes.
Hayes? Oh, come on.
I'm really looking forward to him. You got Braun Breaker, who I'm pretty sure Braun Breaker is coming.
Isn't he second generation too? Oh yeah.
Yep. Steiners, bro. Steiners.
Mm-hmm.
What predictions do you have for the Raw after Mania?
Okay. Let's see. I definitely think we're going to get somebody from NXT. If there's one person I would really want, I feel like it's about time we see Braun Breaker come through. The only person is, who is he going to step on to prove he's legit?
It's always Dolph Ziggler. It's always Dolph Ziggler, bro. It's always Dolph. I don't know
why about to say Dolph Ziggler.
Bro, I don't know. Here's the thing. Dolph Ziggler makes a shitload of money.
He kills it.
But they only have him making that shitload of money because he's always putting people over. It's like, hey, we got a new guy. Bring out Dolph so he can, he can whoop Dolph's ass. I don't know why is Dolph the person that legitimizes you as a WWE talent, but it just seems like they always going to get Dolph. But yeah, Braun Breaker versus, we can see Braun Breaker versus Seth. You can see Braun Breaker versus
Rick
Boogs. Miz. Yeah, for sure.
I would love to see that,
Braun Breaker versus Lashley.
Whoo! That's
money right there.
We can't have that on Monday. That's a pay-per-view. I'm telling you.
But like I said, that Carmelo Hayes, man, I'm ready to see that. You know what I wouldn't mind seeing?
What's that?
A rebrand. And we talked about the Hurt Business, but what about a rebranding of the Hurt Business? What if instead of breaking up? What if instead of breaking up Street Profits, you keep the Street Profits together. You put them with MVP. You get Carmelo Hayes.
Okay.
You keep Almost.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? You got Almost, MVP, Street Profits, Carmelo Hayes. You can even bring the guy that be chilling with Carmelo Hayes. I don't know his name, but
I need them as soon as they step out. The first thing I need to hear is back to business
with the suits on and everything, bro. Yeah. Man, the business. Oh goodness, man. The Hurt Business was just like perfect to me, man.
As soon as we hear back to business, that's when the Usos know it's not the bloodline anymore. It's going to be rough from here on out if they want to hold them titles.
Yes, sir. And they hinted at a Hurt Business return. I don't know what happened with it, but let's hope we get that.
We saw Shelton Benjamin and Cedric Alexander actually win their tag team matches because they haven't done that in a minute.
Exactly.
Which blew my mind. I was like, "Whoa, MVP's finally talking."
I thought they was, and then you saw him talking to old dude in the back, Lashley in the background. They made it seem like something was going to happen, but I still think something will happen. I think maybe Vince might have put the squash on something like that because he was away, and every sign point that he's making decisions in the back, like creative decisions. But Kimmy, Rotten Hatred, want to thank you for showing up to the Dummast podcast, man.
Hey, appreciate it,
man. This ain't gonna be your last time. I gotta have you on more shows, bro. Talk wrestling. What we gonna do is after Mania, we're gonna follow up. We're gonna talk about everything we talked about. We'll talk about our predictions and how they matched up with what actually really happened. So definitely looking forward to that, man. Thanks for popping up. What's your social medias, man?
Hey, you already know the RWTING Hatred. That's me. I'm on Twitch, YouTube. That's where I be. that's it. Right. I appreciate the love. Appreciate the invite to the wonderful Dummast podcast. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, man. We out. Yo, I want to give a shout out to my boy Rotten Hatred for showing up on the Dummast podcast, chopping it up with me about WrestleMania. We will be doing a WrestleMania review and probably going to have a larger panel about that. I know I got a lot of folks that actually are wrestling fans, due to me talking a little bit more about wrestling on the podcast. But yeah, definitely want to chop it up with them, see if our predictions are right, see if you know if we guess WrestleMania right, which I think I did. I think I'm good. But before we get out of here, I want to talk about something. I want to talk about Father Time never being defeated. You cannot beat Father Time. Nobody can. And the reason why I bring this up, last Friday, this is even embarrassing to say. I hate even talking about it. So last Friday, my son had I picked him up from the Boys and Girls Club, and he plays basketball for the Boys and Girls Club. He's on the team. They play organized games. So he's in the league, and he gets in the car. He said, "Papa, I need to practice. I feel I didn't get enough practice. I really want to get some reps in before the game tomorrow." So I'm like, cool. We go to the local gym, and we're shooting. I'm teaching him how to dribble because that's what he needs to work on. He needs to work on his dribbling, passing, and just the overall decision making. When I noticed him and the other kids on their team, when they get the ball, they just get so excited. They really just want to, if they're thinking about passing the ball down the court, that's just what they're going to do. They're not situational. They don't wait for something to happen and then go with the situation. They're thinking, shoot. So I'm going to dribble the ball down there and shoot. Or I'm going to dribble ball down there and pass. Or I'm going to, they don't know how to react to a certain situation. They're just single-minded when it comes to that. The coach just hadn't taught them, options and kind of surveying the situation. So it's just some things we needed to work on. And I was teaching my son how to post up. And, kind of backing him down a little bit. And I spun. But now here's the thing. I spun around him. My son is 8 years old. So I did not do a fast spin. I was just, just a little rock. You know what I'm saying? I rocked around him. And all of a sudden, I kid you not. And like I said, I wasn't out there showboating or nothing like that. I did the slowest possible turn. Because here's the thing with me. I will give it my all on I got one. I'll give it my all on either the baseball court, football, or basketball one time a year. That's all my body can take. Anything else after, beyond that, it's just me bullshitting, moving slow, not going at full tilt. Again, Father Time is undefeated. I've felt the bitterness of Father Time ever since probably I hit 35. I'm 43 now. I'll be 44 in the next few months. So I'm out there with my son, right? And I was just showing him. It wasn't nothing. I didn't do it with no. It was just a slow spin, like just me taking the ball and rolling off of him, so slow. And I did it, right? And I just stood there because I knew something wasn't right. And my back, the muscle in my back, everything that holds your back up was just like, no, bro. No, you done did it, bro. Man, I pulled something in my back that hurt so bad that my thighs, my ass, my pelvis, everything down to damn near right above my knees was just like, no, bro. You shouldn't have did it. You shouldn't have did it, bro. You fucked up. You know you done fucked up, right? You know you done fucked up, right? I kid you not. And there was people watching us on the court. There was, my son was playing, and they didn't think I was hurt because I didn't move. I just, like I said, I just rolled off of them as you will roll off of a 8-year-old trying to teach them something. It wasn't like, with any adult speed or power. And I didn't feel nothing rip. I didn't feel it pull. I just knew something was wrong. And it's crazy because, like, I think my blood pressure started rising or something like that because I couldn't hear anything. It was so crazy. I couldn't hear anything. And I'm just standing there with the ball like, oh shit, I done fucked up. So I told my son, I was like, son, I can't move. help me over to the bench. He was like, nah, I'm good. I'm going to keep playing. I'm like, this little boy right here. So he wouldn't help me. I think so I'm just standing there because I literally can't move. I cannot move my legs. And, I had to yell at him. For him to take me seriously because I thought he probably thought I was bullshit. So I kind of hang on his back, and like every step I took to the bench is excruciating. It is like, it's bad. Like it's bad. And I'm thinking to myself, I done really fucked up. I might have to go to the hospital tonight. Right? So I said, you know what? It's nothing I can do right now. I'm going to sit down. Maybe this will feel better. Maybe it'll pop in place. I don't know. So I'm just sitting there and I'm just thinking to myself, oh, I done fucked up because it's not getting better. And now I've already sat down and it's even worse. And now I don't know how I'm going to get back to my feet. Right? Gym's closing up. And I was like, come on. All right, boy, let's go. So it literally took me probably about 20 minutes, taking baby steps, to walk from the bench to my car with my son's help. Got home, laid down. I mean, it even hurt laying down. Like, it was bad. It was bad. Now, thankfully so, I start feeling better the next day. The next day after that, start feeling better. Now, I still got the pain. The pain is like very minimal. It's like a 6 in certain positions. Right now, I don't feel it. When I get up, I'm going to feel it as I'm getting up. But the reason why I say Father Time is undefeated is because, like I said, I only get one. This year, I ain't even going to have one. I didn't even get to use my one this year. I ain't going to be able to play baseball at full tilt. I'll be able to play, but not in my full capacity. So I don't even get my one. Father Time robbed me. And getting old sucks. Getting old as a man sucks, man. You start feeling pains in your knees. I can't walk anywhere without like the bones in my feet cracking and shit like that. I wake up sometimes where everything on my body is hurting. But yeah, man, Father Time. I want to say a curse word to Father Time, but it is what it is. I'm getting old. It sucks. It's embarrassing. When you just out there, it's like what you used to be able to do. You know what I'm saying? I used to be able to, play basketball all night. Used to be able to run the streets, play football all night. Just, you can't do that no more, man. Can't do it. You got to sit on your ass. And I know the problem. If I would have, here's the thing. I try to stretch every day. So maybe about 4 days out of the week, 4 or 5 days out of the week, I stretch. Because I know how it is. And when I stretch, I have a much better day. No back pain, no knee pain, nothing. I tend to stretch for about 15 minutes in the morning. Sometimes I may even get it throughout the day. I just, do some little exercises just to kind of maintain some sense of flexibility so I don't pull anything. The one day I did not flex, the one day I did not stretch, I popped something. Pulled something. Like I said, I'm good now. Everything's cool now. You got to get take some medicines, painkillers or whatever. But, I also got this special medicine from Dominican Republic that is really good for bad backs. So I took that, but I don't know, man. I don't know. I need to find the fountain of youth. I need to find something to revert back to the old me. It's, maybe I need to work out more. I don't know. I don't know. Go on a diet. That don't sound fun. Working out, that don't sound fun. It's like, even stretching don't sound fun, but stretching to me is just like, it's a necessity for me to get through the day and not fuck myself up. And like I said, the one day I did not stretch is the one day I fucked myself up. Yep. So my one time a year is gone. I gotta wait till next year. I gotta get myself in key physical condition so I can have that one football, basketball, or baseball game next year. So that's it with me, man. That's it for me. That's it for the Dummast Podcast. Hope y'all had a nice time. Y'all can catch me on YouTube, the Dummast Podcast. You can also catch this podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Podbean. Check me out there. Also check me out on Twitch. Twitch, you can hit me up at From Chicago to Dummast, all one word. From Chicago to Dummast on Twitch. You can watch me play. Lately, I'm still just playing a lot of GTA roleplay, so you can definitely catch me there. Also check out my other social medias. I'm on Instagram. My Instagram is Icekold of Dummast. ICEKOLD of Dummast. You can catch me there. I got a lot of reels and stuff like that. And also starting to ramp back up on the reels too, so definitely check me out. I ain't got nothing else. I'm out. Peace. Hope y'all like the show.